or something, but he's wearing a thong and he's wearing jeans over that thong, but you could see his ass crack and everything else because jeans were super low. He's like
He was
going
sagging
towards,
his pants while wearing a thong.
bro. I could see his ass, dude. Like his whole ass was out.
Oh
It's
my
just fucking weird.
The floor is yours.
I need to text my brother. All right. First of all, welcome back, Nick. Second of all, this camera is chasing me, and I love it. I don't know what's going on. To those who can't see this, I bought a new laptop with this camera, and like wherever I move, the camera moves with me. It's kind of cool. Um, anyways, it's been a minute, guys. Welcome to Racing Home Podcast. You're joined by your two hosts, Fez Bobber and
Nick Agater. Oh, you actually let me
Hey.
say my own name. Nice.
It's been a minute. I forgot how I did it.
Yeah, it's been a very hot minute. We are coming hot off the heels of a Grid Life weekend that, again, we did not compete at. We have not really done any Grid Life events except for me at Road Atlanta, which was like
Yeah.
2-3 months now at this point.
For me, my last event was Autobahn last year.
Oh man. So, have you been? How's the shop? Enjoying
I've been
the
good,
shop
man.
life?
I've been good. Oh, speaking of Grid Life, there was a lot of drama this weekend. I don't know if I want to touch on that or not. I wasn't there, so maybe we can get a person on that was at the event, and we can have a conversation with them about what happened.
That would make it better, but real quick, did you hear about any of the drama? Like, what drama are you talking about?
A little bit. There was a lot of accusations. How not even accusations, like this disorganization of the event, of how, and there was no spectator, so you could join everyone was joined as a crew, and then Mid Ohio wanted to charge Grid Life fees for RV, like camping overnight. They weren't letting people in, and then like there was a lot of people that were just passing under yellow or outlaps, and just a lot of and not people. Time attack is just like, from what I'm hearing from a lot of time attack people is that they're not getting enough attention. Like
Hmm.
GLTT is getting a lot of attention. Like time attack sessions were like 10 minutes long, and they barely got any laps, and it was just and Sunday was just there was a 6 hour gap between the session.
I didn't hear about the 6 hour gap on Sunday. If that actually is real, then holy shit, that is absolutely crazy. Especially when you're waiting to like head home, because I know
Yeah.
not podium, awards. Awards were not until like 4 p.m. on Sunday, incredibly late. And so for a lot of competitors that were used to years prior where they could like head out and get back home by Sunday night because competition was over on Saturday night or super early Sunday morning, that
Yeah.
was probably kind of annoying. But that wasn't exclusive to Time Attack. I mean, that was for everybody. Rush, GLGT, GLTC, everybody had to wait till like 4 p.m. on Sunday for
Yeah, I'm not
awards.
sure what's exactly going on, so I want to actually bring someone on that was at the event that could attest to it. So maybe we can do something later
Dude,
this
yeah.
week.
Whoever is listening to this, if you were at the event and you have a fire underneath your butt and you have something to say about it, reach out to Fez and I, and we'll get you on for the next episode. Probably 3 months from now.
Probably 3 months from now. I actually know a couple people that might be interested in joining
Dude, yeah, let's get him on.
to
That'd be pretty
start
cool.
to start the pot. But anyways, so life has been okay, good. Okay, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just kind of going. The shop is running really well. It's honestly doing way better than my expectations were. Um, so I don't want to. It's just been good. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's a lot of work. I'll say. I went from working 2 days in the office, and when I was working 2 days in the office, I'd show up at like maybe 9:30, sometimes even 10 a.m. Like I remember having this. My manager at Toyota would have these one-on-ones with me at 9 a.m. on Tuesdays, and I straight up told him like, "Listen, I'm not a morning person. I can't show up at 9 a.m. or I can't do 9 a.m. meetings. I'll show up at 9 a.m., but I can't do 9 a.m. meetings." And he was like, okay, don't worry about it. And then he changed the meeting to later in the day. So from that to like coming in at 7:30 in the morning every day and leaving at like 6 or 7 p.m. every day, it was a huge shock. Like I hated my life
Yeah.
waking up in the morning every day. But I've adjusted to it. I'm a morning person now. I go to bed at 10 or 11. I wake up at 7?
Dude, you sound just like me. That's like what time I'm typically going to bed at.
Oh my god.
About like 10 p.m. Except last night. So a bunch of friends and I, we hopped onto the Xbox and played some Call of Duty at
Mhm.
10 p.m. and played until roughly midnight. So felt like high school days all over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was feeling it this morning at work. Oh, the camera's doing the zoomy thing again. It's so creepy. Oh, I can see your big head even bigger now.
That's rude.
That was for Raza. Anyways, yeah, the shop part, from my point of view, it looks like you're putting in a lot of work into it. Um, but it seems like you're also happier. I haven't really heard of any complaints about it. Like typically at this point, I would hear a bi-weekly update of whatever shit was going on at the corporate side at your previous job.
Yeah.
But now I haven't really heard of anything negative, and it's actually kind of cool for me to stop by your work now. Because like on Juneteenth, we had the day off, so I went to Dallas, help my mother with some stuff. Stop by your shop, and I could just walk up, say hello to you. You took me to the back, and you showed me some of the cool customer cars you had going on.
Yeah.
You were working on.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's I'm trying not to be negative because it's something that spent so much money on. Of course, there's a lot of issues. Like I'm tired constantly, and there's a lot of other troubles. But it's like my own shop. I control my own destiny in
Yeah.
a way, right? Like if I can't even control something that I own, then like what am I doing?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and like yeah, I mean, I had some struggles. Like, I had to lay off a guy after 2 weeks of having him. Like I hired him, and then after 2 weeks, I let lay him off, right? Because he was breaking parts and he hit a customer's car,
Ooh,
like,
that's tough.
like, stuff like that, right? Like,
Hmm.
and that's the shit that I'm just gonna have to deal with. Like, I came into this business expecting problems like those, problems like bad techs or bad or not bad customers or like difficult customers, angry
Yeah.
customers, like
Yeah.
that type of stuff. Like, I expected
Aaron.
that coming in, but at the same time, like, they're paying me. Like, these
Yeah.
customers are paying me. I'll deal with their bullshit, and like they'll spend 5 grand with me, you know. But if a corporate, like, I have to deal with all these people's bullshit, and I'm still getting paid the same.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a little bit different, when it comes to that, but it's a lot more work. I will say, like, past couple weeks, I've been missing work. I've been missing Toyota a lot, right?
Hmm.
And it's
What
not that,
aspect?
like, it's just the work. My work was really enjoyable. I really
Oh.
enjoyed what I did, right? Like, being in charge of the GR cars was a
Yeah.
dream. Being able to go out to LA, hanging out with all these chief engineers, and hanging out with all those people, like the Formula Drift drivers. Why am I forgetting their names? Frederick
Yeah.
Osbo, Brian Turk, and all those people, right? Like, it was just a cool job,
Yeah.
I like, everyone knew me as the Toyota guy, right? Like, it was just something that I could flex about, which is weird, but I don't know. It was just nice. It felt really cool to be able to be in the know, you know. Like, but
Yeah.
now, like, when I ask my marketing friends or my other planning friends that I was part of, I was like, "Hey, so what's going on? Like, is my the product that I was working on, the special edition I was working on, did it actually go through? Like, are we doing this great strategy? Like, what's going on?"
Mhm.
And they just don't tell me anything because obviously they have an NDA. Like,
Yeah.
they're kind of asses about it though. Like, I mean, what am I gonna do?
That's true. Now you have to go and create your own, complete manufacturing company, and then you could be back on the end with some high-end, high-level engineers and hire me. That's
Yeah, I got you. On the other hand, like, we've gotten some cool cars at the shop. Like, there's a performance shop across the street. They drop off some cool stuff every now and then. Like, they had a C6Z that was like built and whatnot. They dropped off a 911 slant nose, a 964 slant nose with an LS swap in there. It was a conversion, guys. Don't worry about it. I had so many people message me about that. They were like, "Oh, is this an original slant nose?" They were all sad about it because it was like kind of sacrilegious
Mhm.
to put an LS in there. But no, it was not original. And I have a 1967 S Mercedes 250 SE in the back right now. It's the same car from Hangover, where Mike Tyson's Tiger was in there.
Oh, the
Um,
one that I saw 2 weeks ago. So that same
yeah,
car is still there.
same car still
Okay.
here. And yeah, like, it's just some cool cars that come in every now and then, that we get to work on and enjoy. Like, I had an AMG GT yesterday that I was driving around. Um,
How are
that was
you
the
just driving around in this car? Aren't you supposed to be
so
working on it?
Sometimes it's we get a pre-purchase inspection car, and the owner of the or person buying this car is in a different state. That happens very frequently. Like I had an SL63, like a brand new SL63 AMG. That's a $200,000 car. And we were doing a pre-purchase inspection on that, and the customer wanted to buy it, and he was like, "Hey, can you make sure you test drive it and put in all the like this is the modes, like comfort, sport S plus, and all that, just make sure it drives okay." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be more than happy to do that." So the AMG GT, same thing. Like I took it for a drive, got some coffee in it, drove it around like on the highway and all that, floored it here and there just to make sure it was good.
Mhm.
Um,
Made sure
he
the top
was
speed was valid. Yep, yep, yep.
yeah, the top speed was valid. It hit 180 miles an hour on George Bush. Uh, and
This is
um,
not advice.
this is not advice. It's not actually what I do. It's just I'm not speeding in the customers' cars, um, or dealership cars, really. Um, but like, yeah, I mean, the customer called and he wanted to make sure the car was stock. You know, not
Yeah.
tuned or anything. So, and it was not tuned. I did like the car though. It was kind of a nice car.
You said it was like a, bigger version of the Supra or a Supra in a suit? Supra with a V8?
Super over the V8 within a suit. It kind of reminded me of that because of the proportions of the FR proportions, the front engine rear wheel drive. It
Yeah.
was like a Supra with a longer hood. The interior space and like the visibility was similar to a Supra too, which is not saying much. Not a good thing necessarily. Um, but like the engine was great. It pulled really strong.
How much
It sounded
horsepower
like
does that thing have from the factory?
I actually don't know, like 480 something.
Okay. 480, really?
I think
Okay.
so. Let me
It
check.
probably weighs about 4,000 pounds. So it's not
Uh,
bad, but nothing crazy. Not a Black Series.
20
Damn it. This is the pause I have to go and edit out of the podcast later.
I'm sorry. It has 469 horsepower. It was the base GT. It was not a
Nice.
GTS, and they weigh about 3,600 pounds.
Oh, but that's actually much lighter than I was expecting.
Yeah, 3,560 curb weight.
Holy crap. My curb weight is 3325, so it weighs some, call it 300 pounds heavier. For that, I guess it's not that big of a car, but it definitely has a big old engine inside of it.
Yeah, I mean the car was quick, and it sounded like wet farts every time you downshift, which I kind of liked.
It's kind of like the GTIs with the pop tunes, pop crackle tunes.
Yeah, but with the V8, it just sounds better.
The DSG fart. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's basically like having two DSG farts happening at simultaneous times.
yeah, and it was stock, bone stock, and it was making those type of noises, and I was like, this is great.
Hmm, that's pretty cool. But yeah,
Yeah,
from the outside looking in, like it's really cool seeing you achieve what you've been talking to me about and talking to other people for the past, call it 2, 3 years. Obviously, like not in super deep detail 3 years ago, but you had made mentions of it, and then uh, you were talking about it a lot last year. So it's awesome to see you make it happen now, and it's sink or swim time. So, like worst case, it doesn't work out, and you head back to corporate jobs and meet up with Larry Chen later.
yeah. Um, I mean, it was a dream of mine to do, right? Like, I want to kind of reiterate this a little bit to people. Um, I was 7 years old when someone asked me. It was my cousin who asked me, like, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And I told her that I want to do something with cars, and she told me to do mechanical engineering, and that just word kind of stuck in my brain for I don't know decades, I guess. And then I
Hmm.
decided to pursue mechanical engineering and became an engineer and with the goals of. And I knew Toyota was moving to Dallas at the time, and when I was in high school, so my goal was to eventually work for Toyota. And right, like I wanted to be part of their sports car division and everything. So I interviewed at Toyota like 8 times. I got rejected 8 times. I got lucky like with an interview, with an internship like before that. But after the internship, I applied a bunch of times, got declined, and I worked for the railroad, traveled all across the country. I was miserable, and then Toyota reached out to me,
Hmm.
and like I got the job at Toyota, and then from there, like destiny kind of took me to this GR role. Like I just happened to have brought my 86 to work, and the manager of that role saw my car, and he interviewed me, and I got the job that way. Like it was just like meant to be, right? Like I didn't necessarily like pursue this on my own. Like it was a goal of mine, it was an ambition of mine. I tried really hard. I interviewed a bunch of times, failed a bunch of times, and it was like the opportunity kind of just opened up because
Yeah.
someone. And both times when I got my internship and when I got my full time role at Toyota, it was both times someone backed out last minute,
Interesting.
right? So they were like, "Oh shit, and what do we do now? Okay, this guy's really interested. So let's get him in."
Yeah.
Right? So that's kinda what happened. It was just luck. It was luck and God on my side, and, all both times. And then even with this location, the opportunity was right. Someone found this location for me, and it just like, it was either I'd miss out now and wait another few years, or I jump on it now. My biggest issue was just figuring out the finances of how to be able to afford a shop, like, not cheap to go buy a shop, you know?
Yeah, it's not cheap, but if you do it right, then the finances can work out in your favor.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like,
Mm,
an
that's
I
not
don't
the
want
response I was expecting.
I was trying to figure out like how do I tell I don't want to tell people like how much money my shop is making, but I want to kind of
Right.
explain like it's a lot of investment. Like if anyone's trying to get
Yeah.
into a shop, like an average shop, no, I'm not going to say like this is what I paid, but I paid a lot less. But an average shop in today's day and age and at least in Dallas, costs about 1 million to 1,500,000, and that's without property. Like you don't own the property, you just own the business,
Yeah. That,
right?
that's crazy.
Which is crazy. And then those shops, if you run it right, you can make 20 to 30K a month profits.
Okay. Whoa, profit. So that's after paying all expenses in your labor.
Yeah,
Wow.
right?
That's
Um,
significant.
it's significant, but then you get to run it right. Like you have to have. It's all about
Yeah.
relationship building. Like if it's, I was thinking about it the other day. Like I have to try really hard to sell these expensive jobs to customers. Right? I'm
Hmm.
really good at convincing people, so kind of it works in my favor. But for example, like my technician in the back, who's been here for 26 years. Right? He knows a lot of these people that are coming in because they're previous clients. Right?
Yep.
Um, he called someone. He tried to sell the job that was like a motor mount job or something else. I don't know. It was like $2,000-3,000 for this repair. The guy came in for an oil change, mind you. And he didn't prep. He didn't try like my methods that I've been using to be able to sell jobs like these. He just called and was like, "Hey, I know you came in for an oil change, but we noticed your motor mounts are bad. It's gonna be $2,500." And the guy was like, "Okay, Jake, if you say so, go ahead." And I was like, "What?" Like, I was gonna
Oh,
give him
it worked.
I was gonna give this guy a coaching lesson of, like, how to talk to customers and how
Yeah.
to sell these jobs, and the customer was like, "Yeah, go ahead, don't worry about it. Just, I trust you, go for it." He built that trust over 20 years to be able
Yeah.
to sell that because they know he's not gonna scam them out of anything. So,
Yeah.
once you build that trust with these customers and they become, like, repeat customers, they
Yep.
come in for an oil change, but eventually their car's gonna need something,
Yeah.
and that's how you make that 20, 30K a month. Yeah, that's my
Are you
skill
make
on shops.
are you making that now?
I just got the shop, no.
Ah, come on. We want to see you in a brand new LFA that is driving around the California canyons in
Yeah,
rap.
me too, me too. Maybe one day. After
No,
after
but it's
after
pretty cool.
after 3 or 4 shops, maybe.
So your goal then, okay, 5 years from now, where do you see this shop at? Where do you see, is it just this one shop still, or do you wanna have multiple? It sounds like you want multiple.
I want multiple because I want at least 3 or 4. That's my goal.
All Mercedes?
No, no, even this current shop, I'm opening it up to other cars, like, I'm doing Porsches and Audis and BMWs and stuff already.
All the, cars that break often.
Yeah, break very often.
Very cool. I think the shop has, really good potential. I think what I've realized I liked about the location is that it's in, like, a neighborhood, so everyone who has like, it's such an easy drive down where whatever, it's a weekday morning. Wednesday morning, you wake up, "Okay, I gotta take the car down to the shop real quick. It's only 2 minutes down the road, and then I can Uber, the rest of the way to work." Like, it's
People
a
walk
very
back.
or yeah, walk back. Even
People
I
literally
used to
walk
do
back.
that for my there's a neighborhood shop my mom would go to for basic little things, back in Frisco, and I would do the same thing. I would actually throw my it was back when I just got my license, I was 16, 17, so I threw my bike in the back of the car, take it to the shop, and then I would just ride my bike back home, and then pick it up later in the day.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Super easy.
it's a good shop, and then I also met the people there's warehouses in front of my shop, and I met the owner of that owns all those warehouses, and he's telling me how, 30% of those warehouses are rented by car enthusiasts, like, that literally are just
Hmm.
renting those warehouses for storage, and they have, like it's kind they kinda built those warehouses like, to garages of Texas in a way, where there's, like, a mezzanine, there's, like, a simulator they put up upstairs or something with at the mezzanine, like, a little lounge area, cigar place, and they have, like, these lifts inside to be able to store their cars. It's, like, a nice place in front, right?
Yep.
And he showed me some customers' cars. They had some 996 turbos, they had some E31 8 series out there. There were some GTSs, GT3s, stuff like that. So there's money in front of me too, and I'm trying to work with him to be able to get those clienteles because like they're storing their cars there. Let me maintain their cars too.
Yeah. That would actually be really cool. That would having that, like, consistent, customer base is what I think really sets up a company or a shop for success.
Oh yeah.
I don't have one,
Um,
but, like, outside looking in, it appears that, like, once you have a very consistent stream of dedicated customers,
mhm,
uh, being the owner, shop, or technician, like, the business is just so much easier.
yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure, dude. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take a couple of years to get that. Like
Yep.
people are for people to trust me and recognize me and all that. But we'll get there. It's possible.
Okay, this
Um,
is a really quick off the cuff question. Have you
sure.
been to the roof of your shop?
No, I was thinking about it today though, because we're
Just
getting the front building painted and like
yeah.
renovated right now,
Yep.
and the painters were on the roof, and they were like painting from the roof, and I was like, I want to get up there. I want to see what's up there. How do you get up there?
They didn't have just, like, really long ladders on the side of the building that they climbed up?
I was inside working. I didn't see them, but I just saw 'em. Got outside, and I was like, how the fuck did you get up there, dude?
Well, the reason I asked is because it'd be kinda cool if you built a pickleball court on the roof of your business, and if you just hang out on the
Yeah,
top.
but imagine your pickleball flying off the roof.
Okay, you gotta put some fences up.
Yeah, it's a shop and a pickleball court at the same time.
Shop by day, pickleball court by night.
Mm.
A lot of the pickleball places we go out to, they get busier at night than, during the late evenings, basically after 5 p.m.
Not a bad idea. I might take look
Or,
into that.
"I'm sorry, ma'am, but, your car we need your car for an additional, 30 minutes or an hour, but could I interest you in a pickleball game? Here's your paddle, here's your pickleball, head upstairs."
With who? Myself? I'm playing pickleball
I
with
don't know,
customers now?
whoever's up there. Apparently, like, some dedicated pickleball players, they'll go out and they'll, like, a coworker, he'll just go out and he'll just try to find not singles, leagues, maybe? But, basically, like, he'll put his paddle in, like, a line of paddles, and then when it's your turn, you hop into a game, with 3 other players. And so every time the game ends, I don't know if one person leaves or all 4 leave and then the next 4 come up, but, like, it's all random, and you
Yeah,
just
that's
get
what
in
I used to
line.
do.
Oh, I've never done
That's
that.
what where it's, I mean, like, I usually would go with my friend, so we would put our pickleball paddles together, and we would just play
Yeah.
against 2 random people.
Yeah, so just do that. Except instead of the pickleballs, paddles, you have, their keys. That's their line and, that's their way to get into line.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, I'm excited to see where this shop goes, where the shop takes me. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort that I'm having to put in, but I'm not mad about it because 'cause I'm seeing the results immediately,
Yeah.
and, like, it's gonna I sold Lime Rock Park as well, by the way. The only one that's left for me to sell is Road America, and I'm probably gonna sell that too.
You didn't have Autobahn?
I did not have that up on.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think I'm done. I'm not doing Good Life this year, basically, which um, it sucks because I miss my friends. I miss my people. Like I made Ohio when I was watching our friends' stories. I was like thinking about how
Mhm.
last year we were playing heads up and then doing
Yeah, that
those
was fun.
stupid races with those Moto Compactos and my Saran and the scooters and all that. We were just racing down the paddock. Um, it was just a good time where I was missing that, and yeah, I mean, it sucks, but it's something that I'm having to sacrifice a little bit of it for a better future.
Yeah, and you're not the only one. We've seen competitors, friends of ours, have on seasons and then off seasons. Like they take entire years off, and then they come back the following year stronger and better. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to take some time off for yourself, for your business and your family. And sometimes other things just get in the way. Like for me right now, like I'm not really planning on doing much tracking, or I'm not doing any other grid life events this year.
Yeah.
And I said that from the beginning, but now more than ever because of having to get the head gasket job done, pay for that. But
Yeah. I actually want to get into that with you a little bit, but
Mhm.
before I get to that, I am so after driving that AMG GT, I'm thinking if the business does well by next year, buying an AMG GT and building it for like track mod or straight mod or something.
actually modifying it
Yeah.
would okay. Would you, so with the GR86, you had mentioned to me that you wish that you would have bought a Copart, like, instead of modifying a brand new GR86, which,
Uh,
at least at the time that you bought it, was the only way to get a GR86 because there
mhm.
were none yet that were crashed and available in Copart. But would you buy a brand new or used GT, or could you find a Copart? Do they exist on Copart?
I would buy a used one.
Used one?
They're like 60, 70K now.
Oh, that's chump money. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's not chunk money, but like they were
Actually,
$150,000, dude.
I thought a used one would still be, like, north of 90. I didn't think they would be down in the 60s.
They're
That's
becoming
pretty cool.
really cheap. But knowing me, I would want the AMG GTR, which is like they're the top of the line or right below the Black Series and all that. Only because it's lighter. First of all, second of all, it has a variable traction control,
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
and those are coming down to like I mean not that low, but they're still like 110, 120.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is tempting. And then you can keep it at the shop and keep it clean.
Keep it at the shop. You keep it clean. My technician has been here for 26 years. I was talking to him about it. He's like, "Yo, like I can work on the car like with my eyes closed." And I was like, I'm not a Mercedes guy by any means. The only reason why I'm thinking about it is because like I have the means to be able to fix it.
Yeah. The maintenance on it suddenly becomes way cheaper when you own the shop that can do the maintenance on it, especially
Yeah,
when you have technicians that specialize in the very product that being worked on.
yeah, exactly. So
Ooh,
that's the only
okay.
like ideally I'd want like a 911 or GT3 or GT4, but you know,
Alright, well, that'll be the title of this podcast. A year from the release of this podcast, Bez will be in a Mercedes AMG GT. So
no.
we'll know on the release of the podcast
Or
1 year later.
or or I buy that new Toyota car. I was gonna say the name of it, but I realized that that's still confidential. I can't say it. But there's spy shots that were in LA
Will
and
that be available a year from now?
that's a car. There's spy shots of it being driven um on at ACH. It reminded me of a scene from Cars. Like there was two black sequoias in the front and the back, like
Yep.
bodyguards, and then there was that supercar and an AMG GT, the new one. And they were driving them
Yeah,
together at ACH.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty sick.
So I'm not gonna say what they're benchmarking, but by the looks of that video, it looks like it's the AMG GT.
Hmm, that would be pretty that would be pretty spicy. And then you can open up your shop to, Lexus products. Can I say
Yep.
that?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone assumes it's a Lexus. Everybody knows
Lexus, Toyota, whatever.
Lexus, Toyota. Scion,
Um,
bringing back Scion, the young
bringing back
brand.
Scion.
It's up for his
um,
Sunday.
but yeah, so that's something. Oh, I had a couple of two more stories about the shop that happened recently.
Yeah, go on.
Number one, I was like trying to move a shed back there, and we had some stuff in there. So I was trying to pull like my table out of there, and a bunch of wasps came and attacked me,
Did
and
you
I
get
didn't
stung?
know. I got stung,
Dude, that's
and
fucking literal nightmare. I don't I don't I potentially have a phobia of bees. Not to the point
uh,
where, like, I will go running away like a little girl, but, like, I really, really, really hate them. And so, like, I've only been stung once in my life, and it sucked. It was out when I was out mountain bike riding, and a little bumblebee stung me on my arm. But
was
I
it a
avoid
bee or
bee.
a wasp?
It was a bee, so it wasn't nearly as bad as what it could have been.
Gotcha.
Because I've heard wasps are a whole lot worse.
Yeah. So
I've been stung by both.
I didn't realize what it was, and I
Oh,
just saw something around me, and my tech was like, "Yo, run, run! What are you doing?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit, I gotta run!" And I started like just jogging back, and then I realized they were chasing me, so I started sprinting, like full on sprint, running from these wasps. And then I thought it was just bees, and then so I was looking for like I found this one guy that would I don't want to kill bees because they're nice for the environment. I found this one guy that literally pays you to be able to take the bees and then he gives you honey in return too. So I was like gonna do that, but then he's like, no, there were wasps, dude. And I was like, no wonder why this hurt. Like, dude, my arm like right here was swollen the entire thing for 2 3 days. Like, and
I
that's when I
believe it.
realized I'm allergic to wasps. 'Cause
Mm,
my tech
I
got bit too, and he was done he was good in, like, an hour.
oh, okay. Wait, but
Yeah,
you've been stung by bees and you didn't have a significant reaction like the wasp?
I've never been bit by a bee
Bit. You mean stung.
or stung, whatever.
Oh, shit. So you this is your first time to be stung by a bee or a wasp? A wasp.
Uh, yeah, something that's not a
Okay.
mosquito or a spider.
Okay, those actually bite.
Yeah. But no, mosquitoes also sting.
No, they bite. Mosquitoes bite you. They suck
They
your
do
blood
the
out
they do the bzz.
with their oh, they're like they're not their paws, their legs where they like rub them together.
Yeah, they rub their legs together and they go bzz, you know?
No, I don't know what they're doing with their legs, but like they're sucking your blood, like they're sticking their mouth into your bloodstream and sucking the blood out.
So why do they rub their hands like they're
I don't think that has anything to do with. All right, well, clearly we are not
we're
the
not
right
the bee
people to talk
experts,
about
okay?
birds and the bees.
Regardless,
We know
the
about other
wasp
birds and bees, not these kind of birds and bees.
the wasp, like, it burned, and it felt like someone was stabbing me with a knife and twisting it while, like, burning my arm. That's what it felt like. Oh, sorry, I hit it. Um, but yeah, it sucked. And then right after that, a couple of days later, like last Friday, I had this, homeless dude in a thong that walked in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, before you get to this homeless dude with his thong story, so apparently mosquitoes and flies they go and rub their legs together as like a grooming technique, similar to like a cat licking themselves to clean themselves. The bugs are basically trying to clean the dirt off their legs, like off
Ah,
their body.
at least they're clean
So
about it.
yeah, just like you wash your hands before going and having your meal. They do the same thing when they suck your blood. All right,
You
about this
you
guy and his thong.
you heard it here first, guys. Nick Agater, the National Geographic of Racing Home Podcast. Um
BBC, I'm available.
Who was that National Geographic guy that's, like, dying?
I don't know to be honest.
Forgetting his name. Anyways,
This is a
homeless
podcast
dude
about cars and homeless people and thongs. What's
homeless
going
dude in a
on?
thong. Okay. So, I have this customer, she's leaving, and she comes back right back in because I see this one, like, black dude that's, like, a complete that definitely on crack or something, but he's wearing a thong, and he's wearing jeans over that thong, but you could see his ass crack and everything else because his jeans were super low. He's, like,
He was
going
sagging
towards
his pants while wearing a thong.
bro, I could see his ass, dude, like, his whole ass was out.
Oh
It's
my
just fucking weird. And then, like, she gets scared, obviously, and she comes back in, and then he comes into the shop too, and he's like, "Bleh, bleh, 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 bleh," and he's like starts grabbing his junk and like just towards me, and I'm like, "The fuck are you doing?" All right, and I have like customers in the lobby, and I'm like, "Yo, you better, I need you to leave. Like, get the fuck out of here." And he's like, he's just not leaving, grabbing his junk and doing more shit, stupid shit. I was like, "Okay, well, all right." And then it gets to the point where I'm like, "I'm gonna call the cops if you don't leave." And then he doesn't leave still, and then at that point, I get angry. So I'm like, I basically go up to him. I'm like about to charge at him because in my head, that's the last thing I want to do for a
right.
couple reasons. He could have a knife on him or a syringe,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
he could have had I don't know what's on him. Like he could have
A
had piss
vibrator.
all
You don't
over
know what this
him.
guy. We don't know what he's wielding.
I don't want him to give me a bum bump. You know how Kevin Hart said it, like a bum bump. He just hits my lip, just like what are you gonna do? Just
Mhm.
like I don't want that. I don't want to deal with this shit. So I'm just really hoping, like Jake, my tech from the back, Jake, he comes up front. And he's like, "He takes care of this." And I'm like, "I don't want to deal with this." But he wasn't leaving, and he was harassing customers. I'd like jump at him and like get him out, and then he got scared and left. And then my tech comes up after like this whole thing happens. It's already gone down, and he's like, "Oh, Fez, is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like I don't know what the fuck happened. That was a first. Like I've never. My shop's in a nice area.
Mhm. Yeah, it is.
So
Tons of,
he's
Jews and, other people. Hi, Eddie.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, so and he's like, I don't know if you know this, Fed. You know I'm carrying, right? Like I'm always carrying on me. And I was like, first of all, you're carrying at work, and I did not know about this. Second of all, where the fuck were you 10 minutes ago, bro? Like I needed you. Um. So yeah, that was an interesting.
That's an interesting story, and this is only how long have you had the shop for? 5 weeks?
It's been 8 weeks now. It's gonna
Oh,
be
that's
eight
a
weeks
little bit
this Friday.
nice. That's actually a little bit longer than I thought. Apologies for missing your, barbecue, by the way, your cookout.
Never happened.
But oh, it never did? Ah,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, sweet. So, make it happen end of July or beginning of August, one of the 2.
I'm waiting for the building to get painted and the sign to go up, and then I'm gonna do a grand opening.
Perfect. Cool. 'Cause I felt really bad about driving the car out to Tennessee at the same weekend that you were planning on having your, cookout.
Yeah. So speaking of, what's
Mhm.
going on with your head gasket, and where were you? What were you doing in Tennessee?
So, I never actually said this on the podcast, I guess. But okay. Recapping, this year so far, had a bunch of field problems that I discovered back at Pro Solos. Worked with the, company, didn't really get one from them, so I went with a different company, high pressure fuel pump. They're awesome. Got it installed. I was tuning the car, and while tuning the car, one of the times I got back to the garage and I saw that my coolant had turned into a latte. I had bubbles, basically. It was like very frothy and bubbly.
Mhm.
And from what I had heard from other people is that that is a indicator that your head gasket has blown. So, it would only happen during or after wide open throttles. If I drove it normally, it was fine. So, like the following day, I was like, let me just see how the car is because from the inside and from data logs, I didn't see or feel anything. But I took it to work, drove it home, and it was totally fine. No bubbles. Had dinner, took it back out, then another pull, and the bubbles returned. So like, okay, there's something about like high cylinder pressure is causing exhaust gases to get into the coolant. And so I was like, you know what? Head gas is probably going. Car has 92,000 miles on it and countless track days. It's seen 230-degree coolant temps at every single one of those days. So it's probably donezo. And actually, I rode Atlanta, the very last session, dry session, the very last dry session, I put my PB, that's great and all, but that session also saw 241-degree coolant temps. So that was actually the highest that I'd ever seen, and when I looked at the trace, it normally it, like, kinda trends up, but, like, this time it kinda, like, had a sudden peak or its sudden spike to 241. So that might have been, like, the session where it actually happened. So in any case, probably warped the head or extended the studs. I don't know, something going on, but it needed to get fixed. And it's really fucking hot in Texas. I do not feel like doing the work myself. I'd never done a head gasket job before. I didn't want to fuck up timing. Like there's so many steps that if I didn't put it together right, the whole motor could be gone. And so the company I took the car out to is called Engineering Motorsport Solutions. I had heard really, really good things about their labor and, like, their work. They build some 800 horsepower, uh, Mustangs and Focuses, RSs, and STs, and I haven't really heard anything bad about them. A lot of shops, I feel like you can hear good things and bad things, and every story is unique, but, like, this one, I actually never heard anything bad. So, I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna roll the dice and, contact them and see what they could do." And they quoted me a price that I thought was very reasonable, and I felt better about paying them to get the job done rather than doing it myself and potentially having the car like on jack stands for the rest of the year because I messed
Mhm.
something up. And honestly, it was a bit of an excuse just to drive the car out to Tennessee and drive the tail of the dragon later.
There you go.
So so what? I had the discovery on I can't remember exactly what day, but it was called on Monday, and then the following weekend, not that weekend after the Monday, but like 2 weeks later is when I actually did the drive out to Tennessee. The drive out, pretty boring until you get to Nashville, and then it actually gets really, really pretty. I mean, we've done the drive up to National Corvette Museum, and it's nothing great, especially going through Little Rock and Memphis. But once you get to the east side of Tennessee, east of Nashville, at least it's someone from Texas, where we don't have mountains, and shit's only green for like 2 weeks, and then it turns brown because everything's in a drought. Over there, it was gorgeous. They got hills, they got trees that are incredibly tall. It was beautiful. And so I drove the car out there, spent the night in where did I spend the night? I spent the night in Nashville, and then the following Sunday got to the shop, dropped it off, met up with them, and the shop. Everyone there is so incredibly nice, thoughtful. They gave me a shop tour, show me where their engines are built, show me like where they do the work, and it just felt like it was in good hands. So and they gave me constant. They've been giving me constant updates of the status of the car, and going with stronger head studs, getting some O-ring or getting the, like, the head O-ringed. So, I don't really know exactly how that works, but from the sound of it, it almost, like, gives the head a better bite into the head gasket. So, hopefully it doesn't blow again in, the next 2 years. And then what was the last thing? Oh, they, actually serviced my fuel injectors. So, they, flow tested and made sure they were, still flowing properly and cleaned them up. So, all of that for less than 3 grand, and, like, the whole head job as well, timing it and putting it back together.
Bad.
Okay. So that response made me feel better about my decision. And then, so Carol and I, we're gonna go out there. Oh, here's the other thing:
Let
the
me also
flight.
clarify. The reason why I
Okay.
think it's not bad is because now I run a shop and charge people 3 to 4 grand for small shit. So
Yeah, exactly. um, the people at the shop are incredible. The people around the neighborhoods around the shop,
yeah.
it is redneck country.
Okay.
It is incredibly. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm probably gonna get heat for this, but whatever. I'll just say it. Um, okay, the shop is out Knoxville, Tennessee. It's not a big city, it's pretty small, kinda like comparing
Knoxville's a nice
Austin to
city.
Dallas. Nashville is big.
No,
Knoxville is much smaller.
Knoxville is also a nice city.
It is nice, but the shop is an hour and 15 minutes away from Knoxville, like,
Oh,
further northeast.
so it's in the
Like,
boonies boonies.
it's in the boonies, exactly.
Yeah.
So, uh, I was looking around trying to get an Uber, or trying to, like, pretend I was there and requesting Uber, and no one drives rideshare out there. There's no public transport, and so your camera's doing the Zoom thing again. Anyways, so the night before, I pre-scheduled an Uber from the shop back to Knoxville. The
Mhm.
price ended up being like $114 is what I had to pay, so taxes, whatever, he probably got paid $60, $70. In any case, this $114 Uber. Okay, so he picked it up the day before, and it's got, like, 4 stars. I was like, "Okay, this is probably on the lower end from what I normally accept." Normally, I try to go for, like, 5 stars because I've had some
5-star
really, really
Ubers?
shitty. Yeah, or, like, 4.5 and above.
Can you select Ubers like that?
No, you cannot select them, but you can reject them. Like, you
Oh,
can
you
reject
can?
the ride. Yeah, you just
Okay.
cancel the ride. But I was like, "This is the only" and also, like, when I put in the request, it'd been city open for, like, 4 hours. Think. Like, it sat open for a long time. I was worried about trying to request another one the night before,
Mhm.
or even the day before, or even the same day. And so I was like, "Whatever, I'll accept it." Uh, so the guy rolls up, the windows are all down, it's this little Ford Fusion, and he goes I was about to get in the back seat, and he goes, "Oh, no, brother, you can come up here in the front seat, come here with me." I was like, "Alright." Like, he looked about our age, but he's, like, pulling trash out the front. And the only thing that made me feel better about the situation is that I kind of blended in the sense that I was wearing a sleeveless shirt because it was kind of hot and muggy that day. So I was like,
Okay.
whatever, I'll just play my Texas redneck version of myself and be on the end. And the entire drive back, he just talked about guns and I don't know, just redneck shit, going mud bogging. I was keeping him like we're both talking about our hobbies. Actually, it wasn't that bad of a conversation, but his Ford Fusion had no AC. It had over 315,000 miles. If he did over 55 miles per hour, it started having to shake like one of the wheels was imbalanced. And it was such a shitty experience. And like the Uber itself, like for representing Uber as a company was absolute garbage. But like it was my only option to really get back. I was thinking that in worst case, if I could not get an Uber, then what I was gonna do in Knoxville is pick up a U-Haul and U-Haul trailer, put the car in the trailer and drive it up to the shop and then drive the U-Haul back. Because there's a U-Haul within walking distance from my hotel and the airport. But I went with this Uber experience and it was it was an experience.
Was it an hour-long Uber?
Yeah, with the windows down and no
That
AC.
fucking sucks. Did you give him a review?
No, I didn't give him a review, no tip. I was like, "Whatever. I'm not probably never gonna see him again in my life."
That's
That
that's
was
fucking that's
yeah.
that's Tennessee, I guess. I don't know, that's
That
the
was
South.
Tennessee. The shop owner, they contacted me because when I told them I was getting Uber, they're like, "How did you get an Uber? Like, we normally never see Ubers out here."
Uh-huh.
And I told them that I
Uh,
had put in the request ahead of time. So once I got to, the hotel, I was like, "Tell all of your customers to figure out some other way to get here." At least if you see a silver Ford Fusion roll up with the windows down as your Uber ride, it's probably the same guy. He's probably nice and not gonna hurt you or anything, but, like, you never know. So, the car's over there. Car's done. It's all wrapped up. They've driven it around. They said everything's good, and pick it up in a week and a half from today. As of
wait,
this recording, today's July 1st. And so Carol's gonna go out with me. Dude, guess how much these flights were? The flight from Austin
$300.
to Knoxville. No, yeah, Knoxville.
$300.
No, less.
$50 each.
Pretty much 48. $48 on
Where are you
Allegiant.
flying? Frontier?
No, Allegiant. Basically
Oh,
a
yeah, it's
Frontier Spirit competitor. Yeah, it's dirt
honestly,
cheap.
Allegiant's not that bad.
I agree. They were on time. We all like it was per- I had no complaints.
Yeah. I would fly Allegiant from when I was living in Lexington. I would fly from Lexington to Miami or Fort Lauderdale because my ex was living there, and it was like $50 for a round,
Yeah.
like $50 to $100, like round trip for a weekend. I'd just fly out there to her.
Yeah, like this flight for me cost half the price of my Uber.
Yeah,
I Ubered 1 hour 15 minutes, and this 2 hour flight costs half as much.
that's wild.
So Carol's coming with me. She's gonna fly out to Knoxville. We'll probably try to find some other kind of way to get over there. Probably Uber,
Yeah.
but not a Silver Ford Fusion. And then we'll pick up the car, and then we're gonna go to the Tail of the Dragon. Actually,
Why
before
not?
that, we're going to Gatlinburg.
Why not just get a Turo?
Turo for yeah, I thought about
Like
that too.
like a cheap Turo, because so one of our old friends, HP, he does Turo, and he actually got a warehouse right across the street from me, and he charges $35 a day for a Turo, right? So you could technically get a Turo, have Carol drive there, and then on the way back, like
Drop it off.
drop the Turo off. It's $35.
Yeah, that's something that we were looking into as well. That because with her being with me, we're most likely gonna pick up a rental car of some kind, whether it's Turo or renting from the rental car agency, or even just like $20 for whatever van is sitting in the Home Depot parking lot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna Uber all the way back to the shop, being that Carol's with me,
Uh-huh.
because there are rental options that are much cheaper.
100%.
So we'll probably do something like that. Probably race each other on the way back. Actually, no. They told me that I have to like drive gingerly for about like 50 miles or so. Like, don't be hard in the car, just to I guess make sure everything sits right. And then yeah, we're gonna go to Gatlinburg, the Smoky Mountain National Park. We're gonna go to the highest point. There's like an observatory up there, and then go to the south side of the Smoky Mountains, and then do the Tail of the Dragon, and then spend the night in Nashville. She's never been to Nashville, so we're gonna go do some bar hopping. So it'll kinda be a Friday night date night, and then Saturday, we'll make the drive down to Dallas, and then Sunday down to Austin.
True.
So,
Nice.
I'm
That's kind
looking
of fun.
forward to it.
I really wanted to go to Gatlinburg when I was living in Kentucky. It was like 2 hours for me, but I never got a chance to go because didn't want to go by myself. Uh, so now, yeah, it's on the bucket list to go. How is also you were at Yellowstone out of nowhere? I didn't even know you were going.
Yeah. So, post-wedding, wedding 3.0 basically. Um, Originally for the honeymoon, we were gonna go to China, but then we changed our plans, and instead we did Miami plus Key West as first half of the honeymoon, and the second half was Yellowstone, but we didn't do it back to back. So we went to Yellowstone and I always say the name wrong. Grand Teton, Grand. Some people
Grand
say
Tet or
Tetons,
Teton?
Tetons,
Teton or Tet
Teton,
Teton?
Teton,
Yeah.
Teton, whatever. Really tall mountains with glaciers, and they look freaking amazing. I think what makes them look so grand is the fact that like leading up to the mountain range is all grassland and like horses and ranches. Granted, now it's underneath national park control, but that's originally what it was when settlers came out. And then all of a sudden, the mountains just jut up. So it's a gorgeous area. And then for Yellowstone, the mountains themselves weren't necessarily the wow factor for me. It was all the geysers. And so like the entire Yellowstone, you've heard about how Yellowstone is basically sitting on a volcano.
Mhm.
Okay. So the entire national park is the interface between this old I don't know if I can call it dormant volcano, but like the underground. Oh my god, the camera's following you and looks like you're, I don't know, playing with your shoe.
Putting my shoes back.
Okay, I was right. Any case, so all the water like trickles down into the ground and it gets super heated and then comes up and turns into a geyser. And like you see the way the water is interfacing all over Yellowstone from just like random spots where you're driving by and it's like, oh look, the trees are dead. Oh no, or oh look, there's a geyser right there. Because like Old Faithful, it's not just one geyser. In my head, I thought it was just like this one spot in the whole park where you see geyser activity. No, you could drive for 3 hours around this national park. It is the largest national park. You could drive for. We put 500 miles on our rental van just in Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Park. Like that's how much driving we did, halfway to Minnesota from Texas. Just looking at trees, animals, and geysers. We saw more bears than I've ever seen in my life. We saw 3 bears. One of those bears was a mama bear. Technically, we saw 5 bears because the last bear had 2 cubs with it. So it's great. Got to do it. It's just super, super expensive because everybody wants to do Yellowstone. So hotels and lodges, kind of pricey, but I say it's worth doing at least one time in your life.
Especially because of that show, right? There was a Yellowstone show that kinda made it more popular.
Yeah, I made it popular. Um, when you are walking around the geysers, it smells like sulfur, so
Mm.
it smells like rotten eggs sometimes. Sometimes it's stronger than others.
What made
Every
y'all
time
wanna go?
I always want to go to Yellowstone National Park.
It
We
just
enjoy
felt
going to
random for
national
that.
park.
I mean, yeah, same here. I mean, I wanna go too. I wanna go to, Glacier National for my birthday.
Glacier would be cool. Banff would be cool. There's a lot of national parks to go and take a look at. Smoky Mountain National Park, I'll be able to cross that off the list in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
know we've been kinda
been my catch up.
rambling.
Hmm?
I know we've been
Yeah, we're
I know
rambling.
both of us kinda rambled for a while about our lives and whatnot. It's been a minute. Um, do we have any topics we wanna talk about? I have a topic, but at the same time, I don't know how long we've been going for.
We've been going for about an hour now, plus or minus a couple minutes from editing out stuff that are we should not have said.
Uh, should we, um, I guess, call it and then do another podcast in a couple days?
So I don't have time for a topic. I kind of have to get going, but podcast in a couple days. No, it'll have to be this time next week because I'm going out to Minnesota for the 4th of July holiday.
I'm gonna be in Chicago.
Nice. Yeah, so we fly out Thursday morning, get back Sunday night. So we're just heading out there to do some checkup because Carol and I we have not been to Minnesota since the two of us were there in Christmas. So like that cabin's been completely vacant for the past 6 months. So
Gotcha.
let's get up there and do a pulse check and do some maintenance, and then just enjoy some cooler weather because it's like 70s over there,
It's pretty hot here right now, and I'm kind of burning up.
dude. We've barely had 100-degree days. This time last year, we were probably on day 20th of the 73-day streak of triple-digit temperatures.
Yeah.
Last summer it was brutal. You
Well,
should get
anyways,
AC for your
man,
shop.
It was really good catching up with you and catching up with the crowd, I guess. But let's talk about some topics for next week, and let's talk more about grid life and what's going on there and what our opinions are about that. Um, it's this racing home podcast is turning more into catching up with old friends podcast. But I'm not mad
Yeah.
about it. I'm not mad about it. Hopefully, our clientele isn't mad about it. But um, I used to listen to some friends' podcasts a while ago, and it just felt like I was talking to a friend on a road trip, right? So I hope that is the same for you guys. Is when you're listening to us talk, it's like having a conversation with us when you're listening to us on a drive or something. But if it's not, then we need to do better, and you need to be a better friend, you asshole. So, uh, anyways, let's call it. So
Yeah. Next one, we'll do your topic, and then we'll have someone from Mid Ohio. I'm very curious to hear about mid-season grid life drama. Apparently.
we can have both.
Yeah, we'll do both. All right. Talk to you later,
All right.
Fez. I gotta go.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everybody. See ya.